Welcome again to the 40s Lounge. Of course, it is me, Danny Boy, son of Never the Great One. And on today's show, we want to be discussing to the young people. We want to talk matters career. We want to talk about matters having a vision. And on today's show, I'm privileged, I'm excited to have Dr. Paul Kibisho. Please speak to our people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Wambara. It's my pleasure being with you, and one of my key areas of life is to ensure that our youth people move to the levels not experienced before, because we all have the potential to make things happen. And I'm telling you, this is what we call the law of attraction. So the moment they get to hear what it is that we have in store for us today in this particular show, their life will never be the same again. It will be a game changer.
Now something, Dr. Kibisho, that
Yes.
people don't know much about you.
Yes.
You know, you interest me a lot.
Yes.
Since I did your first book called this book under the Flame Keepers Company,
Yes.
I read your story and I said, this is a story that most of our young people are supposed to emulate.
Yes.
Having been born in a forest,
Yes.
having been born, that's why the book is called Defying All Odds. Having been born in a forest, having walked barefooted for kilometers,
Yes.
you are able to supercharge. You are able to go past those obstacles. And what people don't know is that you are number one marketer. You're the number one salesman.
Insurance salesperson for 14 years in a row, uninterrupted. That was total madness. as if I was the only one who was actually in the field.
And then just tell people, how far did it take you? Because I remember most of the times you used to tell me you'd travel abroad courtesy of you being number one. Yani nobody could beat your record. And you're not talking about this to small insurance companies you think about. It's a mega insurance company that is it's a high profile. It's a blue chip.
Yes.
Now, tell people how the experience was.
Of course, I was born in a forest, as you have said it. I was born in a forest called Kiadogoro Forest, 18 kilometers west of Nyeri town. My parents were peasant farmers. My father was actually a rabara. My mother was a peasant farmer doing what we call subsistence farming, and they had 19 children in total.
Wow.
So 12 daughters and 7 sons. I happened to be the fourth born. And I'm telling you, our family was being referred to as a museum of misery. But I thank God. That was their saying. I got my job at 19 years.
At 19 you already?
I was employed on 21st September 1992. 10:13 a.m. in the morning, and my manager then was Mr. Julius Kimani Bo. I started working as an insurance person. By then I was a Form 4 leaver. For information, I had just cleared Form 4 the previous year.
Through a lot of struggle, of course.
I was sent home for school fees balances 21 record times. I never lost count, believe me. And my former principal, Mr. Wairago, can actually attest to this. But remember, I was made a head boy in Form 3 because they could see the potential in me. So after that, at age 19, I got my job. And at 20 years, I married.
You married early?
At 20 years.
But why are these young people refusing to marry?
The problem with them is that they're actually in a lot of confusion because they see a toti, all sizes. So you see, in the process of pursuing a toti, another one services. So unless you make a decision, my brother, because the beautiful ones are not yet made, as they say, you must make a decision. Because everything in the supermarket is good, but it's not meant for you.
Dr. Kibisho, let me just interrupt a bit. Do you think that it was a good decision to marry that time?
Yes.
Myself, I married when I was way late. So if you look at my kids, they're so young and they're late.
The most unfortunate thing when you marry when you are old, somebody may come to pay you a visit and maybe find some diapers and they ask you a very irritating question. You mean your grandchildren are here?
And then sometimes you go for Parents' Day. Your son or your daughter says,
don't come.
No,
don't come.
People will be asking you, what is your grandfather coming to do in school?
And you see, more especially when you don't have money. You know, this world has got a very bad conspiracy. If you don't make money, it makes you more angry.
So sometimes I'm afraid to go because my son is 4 years. I'm afraid to go to school because people will ask him, is that your grandfather or is he your father?
My first-born daughter is 27 years of age.
Okay.
Second-born daughter is
What is she doing?
She's actually working with an American company.
All right.
She did what we call electronic mass communication at Daystar. She got a second-class honors upper division. I expected a first class, of course, because she was in a national school. The second-born daughter is doing law.
Okay.
She joined university on Monday. The third born is in Form 4. Yes. Actually, she's a candidate next year in the month of... The fourth born is in class 8. Then the last born who came, it was actually a friendly match that became Premier League. Mid-stream. But I've already cautioned my wife, going forward, Frederick Mass is no more problem in my compound.
And then it just so happens that today was also your birthday. So
Yes.
at 48, you must be one of the proudest men.
I'm telling you, I thank God. When you see my daughters, when I walk with my daughters and my wife, people think that this must be my sisters. But of course, the color, and of course the aula that emanates from them shows the source.
Now, Dr. Kibisho,
Yes.
today we wanted to discuss to a lot of our young people.
Yes.
They're saying that there are no opportunities.
Yes.
Now, of course, the government and one of the candidates for presidential position has been talking about bottom-up economy.
Yes.
But then now it is being politicized and people are saying this thing is not there. What do you have to say about that?
You need to ask me as a scholar. I do not require your approval, Mr. Daniel. I'm a scholar.
All right.
And you know I've been to school.
Yes, Dr.
I am much
Kibisho.
longer than many of us have been. I teach economics at the university. I teach microeconomics, I teach macroeconomics, development economics, economic analysis, and econometrics.
Hey, those are hard words.
I will not even mention a few terminologies. Let me first highlight what our Deputy President is talking about. It's a bright idea. It's a brilliant idea. Bottom-up economic model is a model among many models. We have what we call the vertical model, the horizontal model, the trickle-down model, and the bottom-up. But the question is, in order for you to make what we call bottom-up model, somebody must have shown what it is that he or she can do on his own or her own. So even if you're a young man, you must either be, like, we have got our photographers here, you have got our cameramen here.
Yes.
That's a business potential. That's a business plan on its own. So you must be having something that the government will come and put money in. If you go to the ATM right now and you don't have an account with that particular bank, the ATM will not even respond to your pressing of the button. The ATM will only respond to you if you have an account. Even if the account has got no money, it will tell you, thank you for using our ATM, but you are sorry, you have zero in your account. So if you don't have anything that you are holding on to, the bottom-up economic model will not work. So I'm actually telling our young men and women, the youth, that you must be holding on to something. And I was sharing with the pastor from Comalogs. And I told him that even when Jesus Christ met Moses, when those children of Israelites were complaining to Moses, Jesus asked a very simple question.
What do you have?
What do you have?
Hands.
When David was given some garments to go and fight Goliath with them, and he said, no, I'm comfortable the way I am. So he used what we call a sling.
A sling in the stones, because
he was
more
not told to
comfortable
go for a MiG-23, for an AK-47 live or for a G3. So you must have something that you're holding on. God will never, let me tell Mukono mtupu, my brother, how would that be? You must be having something tangible that somebody can come and do what we call a situational analysis,
all right,
and a sensitivity analysis,
all right,
to be able now to look at what we call the degrees of freedom,
all right,
and now to invoke what we call training. We look at what we call the standard deviation in terms of connecting standard deviation, to be able to now to tell how far can this gentleman go and what is required of this person to be able to be propelled to the next level. So nobody will come, no matter how beautiful the economic model is, somebody must be holding on something. So I'm telling my young men and my brothers, my sons and daughters, because they're young people,
yes,
that if you have a kinyosi with only one seat, you are ready to go.
You have something at least that
if you have a phone like this, of course, I don't expect them to have a phone like this one of mine, because there are only two, mine and His Excellency the President. They have not yet been dead. There's no consignment so far that has come. But I'm saying, if you have got this kind of a phone, this is actually a whole office. How do you use your phone? You see, if somebody gives you an egg, not that an egg, Mr. Bishop Wanbara, if somebody gave you an egg, you can decide either to boil that egg and consume. You can decide to look for a neighbor's hen and brood it to give you a hen. So the choice is yours. So the question is, can you use this phone? This phone is not meant for WhatsApp. This small phone is not for what we call photo manenos. This phone can be used as a gadget to give you money and income.
Now, Dr. Kibisho, there's something else.
Yes.
There's been a challenge within the new economics, the education system we have called CBC. Now, if you look at even the old system we've had, which was the 844 system, you find that it is churning out a lot of employees other than entrepreneurs. Because now, just imagine, how many in each year, how many graduates are we churning out, and how many job opportunities are existing outside there? Okay?
Let me help you, because I'm a lecturer in university.
Yes.
And I have a problem. I thank God for the CBC. By the way, CBC is good. Expensive as it is the best. You know, previously, you got an A in agriculture.
Yes.
You got an A in physics, but you got an A in mathematics. You were getting what we call blanket condemnation. But with the CBC, they are looking at what is said that Mr. Wambala can do.
The strengths that
you have. So CBC is very good. So we do not want job seekers. CBC is not going to create job seekers. It is going to create job creators.
Job creators.
Get the difference.
Hold on to that thought.
Yes.
We're going to come back and continue this conversation after the break. Please remember to subscribe to Vumbi Radio on YouTube, or to Vumbi Radio. Also, don't forget to listen into some hot music. We are having great artists on our channel, www.vumbiradio.co.ku, the #1 urban local station in East Africa. Also, follow us also on Facebook at Uvumbi, and on Instagram, of course, at Uvumbi Radio. Don't touch that dial. We shall be right back with Dr. Kibisho as he continues to educate our young people so that they can become better. Thank you. Welcome back to the 40s Lounge, where we talk real issues affecting our young people and trying to better them. And on today's show is hot. I have Dr. Kibisho here. Wow, the things he's talking about are amazing. Dr. Kibisho, just before the break, you were telling me something.
Yes, I was telling you this, that we have had so many people graduating from the universities.
All right.
And the problem is, leading is one thing, but to conceptualize that thing that you have learned and to convert it into money is the issue. So we have got more than, by the way, every year we have more than 20,000, 30,000 graduates.
Exactly.
But where are they going to?
They're looking for jobs.
They're looking for jobs.
Job
You see, looking for jobs has become their job now.
Their preoccupation.
That is the occupation. So the first thing that you need to ask yourself, what is it that I can do now at my level? Let me ask you, like now we are headed to what we call the campaigns in 2022.
Yes.
Why can't you think of creating some key holders? Because during politics, during campaign period, Kenyans get drunk with politics. They become so ecstatic that sometimes they even forget the basics. So if you come up with what we call that key holder, you hear that this man who says, nobody can stop flag. So when you know he's coming, why don't you carry 500,000 key holders and sell each at 10 shillings? By the end of the day, you go home 5 million shillings.
Wow. I've seen this happening, especially the people from your community are very ingenious. When we are having graduations, you find that they always know where their graduations are going, and they see an opportunity to do business.
This is it. And that's why the Bible says you have eyes and you don't see. You have ears and you don't hear. God has given you the opportunities. So we'll go back to your village. And I was telling a very young man from Gatodo. By the way, I know this young man. God has blessed him with what we call innate talents. Natural talents. He fixes phones like a child, like a kindergarten's play. So I told him, he was here at a river road. The guy was making more than 15,000 shillings per day. Then because of beer, he wasted his time on beer. Now the guy is back home. So I was telling him, do you know how irritated God is? God was almost vomiting if he does in heaven. Because how can he give you a talent and you don't use it?
Because that's why the Bible says that too much is given, much will also be required. Now, while we are at that, there was something you're telling me about Omanyala.
Yes, I was coming to Omanyala.
Right now. He's a
23-year-old man. And he has broken... he loved his shoulders to the president. Did you see that? How close have you been to the president yourself, despite your prominence in this particular area?
Maybe Baba.
You're talking of the current president of the Republic of Kenya. You see,
I have not had the opportunity yet.
You see, what happens is this. The moment you realize what it is that you have and you exploit it, that's how doors get opened for you.
All right.
Now, Omanyala was properly scouted by somebody. So we have so many Omanyalas.
And I was told he learned how to sprint through YouTube. He did.
Besides, even Yego, you remember the YouTube man?
Yes.
Information is fully. You do not even.
Now it's the second fastest.
I can even operate a person personally. I can go to the operation room and operate somebody. Why? Because they
don't trust you.
Don't you worry. Trusting him is another thing altogether. But I'll have operated by the end of the day anyway. Because you just have to go to the YouTube, see how things are being done. If you want to learn, my wife has got more than 250 turkeys. My wife, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that she has got more. She's a teacher. She's a master's holder. But she has what we call a side hustle that gives her a lot of money. So the problem with us people, let me tell you, if you think that you're going to wear a suit like mine and you make money, you are completely lost. So what we are saying is this. Why can't you grow Bulasika or Rasaifa capitata? The youth understand what I've talked about. Why can't you grow Fishnalam sakaram? Why can't you grow Daukas carota? Why can't you grow Lecopaska mescolenta? Why can't you grow Zimes?
I give up.
When I talk about Bulasika or Rasaifa capitata, these are cabbages. When I talk about Bulasika, these are sukuma wiki. When I talk about Ipomeo batatas, these are potatoes. Zimes is maize.
Let's get back to the topic we're talking.
So that's what I'm saying.
About the bottoms up economy.
I'm telling you the youth.
Now we're saying most of our youth, some of them are feeling underprivileged because maybe they were not as privileged as you to go and get their PhDs. They simply have maybe class 8 or
who was
Form 4.
privileged? You are the one who wrote my book. You are the one who published my book.
Yes.
You know the problems I went through.
Yeah.
I have told you I was sent home for school fees balances 21 record times. There's what we call, and this is what differentiates between one who succeeds and one who fails, the power of initiation. The power of initiation and the power of concentration. You see, God gave us this light, all of us.
Yes.
God did not discriminate. This sun, it can't burn you, but take what we call a magnifying glass. It will burn you.
If you concentrate it.
This is it. We have some people who took the solar panels that in the evening when you are actually plunging into darkness, they'll still have light because they did not only see the light from the sun, they even talked about harnessing the light for their use. So
that was attributed to Tesla, of course.
Yeah, of course, don't you worry. The fact of the matter is, even Dedras and Nicholas, they are the ones who brought the theory of an aircraft. Even this man called this man who came all the way from India, you know him, Vasco da Gama. He had no uncle in Maridi.
Portuguese.
Yeah, he had no uncle in Maridi. And he had no sophisticated, what we call GPRI systems. But he dared. To succeed in life, you must dare.
Now, you're talking during the break, something about Jack Ma.
Jack Ma. I wish you can listen to Jack Ma. He said that he confessed that he was actually a dadahead in school. He could not comprehend anything. But he thanks the Malaysian University because he was given a honoraria causa de doctorate. But he said, the world that we are in today does not require what we call knowledge. It requires what we call creativity. Innovation and creativity. Do you know M-Pesa was actually a brainchild of a Kenyan student from JKUAT? Do you remember those two young men, sorry to say, they never did a good thing. Those guys who made a tunnel and they went to what we call the shaft of KCB in Thika. If I were the one, I could have absorbed them in the military, school of infantry. You see, you now convert what we call... You convert an adversity into an advantage. So the problem with us is that we do not have what we call the power of intuition. We must continually harness what God has given unto us. If you are a youth, like you yourself, you could have made a very good runner. Your body morphology, anatomy, and general physique could have allowed you to become a very good sprinter. But you let the opportunity maybe run. Maybe we have got some people who could have become boxers. But the question is, who is actually now scouting for their talents? So young men, what I say, showcase. Remember Otogoro?
Yes.
Look at that young man called Otogoro. He became the president's son.
In court.
Yes. Why? Because he did things. To succeed in life, you have to do things out of the ordinary. And one man called Mr. Albert Einstein said, the greatest form of madness is doing the same thing, same way, year in, year out, expecting different results. And that is why Paul Kebisho, people, let me tell you, young men who are listening to us today in this show, we have what we call the market of insurance. Believe you me, if the insurance took me to more than 56 countries.
56 countries?
I was in UK, I went to Greece, I went to Italy, I can even tell you the airports, I went to Israel, I went to Egypt, I went to America, 15 states because of insurance. I went to Germany, selling insurance. And you see selling insurance, who doesn't have a need? We all have a need. How sure are you that you'll be there tomorrow? Supposing God recalls you home for further deployment, who will take care of your children? And the Bible says in the book of Hebrews 5:20, it's appointed anybody born of a woman to die one day. So if you die, you leave us with that burden. No, insurance takes care of that. So me, I was selling a need. So when you see pastors selling us the benefits of Jesus Christ, it is, and they make you understand that if you go to heaven and you have not repented your sin, you will be put into what we call eternal fire. So the fear of eternal fire makes you to accept Jesus Christ. So you sell the best.
Marketing 101.
So you must package the benefits. Even today at my level, with my 5 degrees, hope you are aware that I've got 5 degrees now and 6 postgraduate diplomas.
I left you with a PhD.
Yeah, you know, at PhD you'll have reached that degree. Then I went to law. I did my bachelor's of law degree, did master's of law degree, then those other postgraduate and what have you. So I've graduated 11 times and I still sell insurance even today with Britam. Yes, I left Pan-Africa Life that nurtured me for 21 years. Yes, you see, so young men and women can still make money. They can still make money.
Dr. Kebisho, I'm telling you, we can talk and talk and talk, but I'm just excited the things you've helped our young people to be able to understand, because we can continue. I think it's varied and we'll keep talking. I think I'll bring you again on the show. Problem. But before we end, I wanted you to just talk briefly about the books you have.
Thank you so much, Bwana Daniel. This is the book that you published. And if your memory has maybe failed you, you did it in 2010.
All right.
This book I have sold more than 150,000 copies.
Wow.
And you can see it has been edited. re-edited again. So this one has bought me 2 acres of land somewhere.
Wow.
Within the precincts of Nairobi. So I am telling the young people, you can also do what we call book writing. And you only require to talk to Mr. Wambara here. He will guide you in the ways to go.
How much is it going for?
Only 1,000 shillings.
1,000
shillings because of how the economy is. Then I have written another book here, Bwana Daniel, which is called The Transformative and Authentic Leader of 21st Century. So we talk about transformative. The world is not going to embrace what we call rigidity.
All right.
You must be able to transform yourself to the heights expected of you to move on. And you can see what I've done. This is what we call a stand. You can see it is growing. So you may have failed in the past.
It's sprouting again.
But this was something called sprouting again, meaning that, yes, you may not be where you're supposed to be right now, but tomorrow is always bright. And with God, all things are possible. Transformative and authentic leader of 21st century.
And that one's going for how much?
1,000 shillings.
All right.
I'm a very, very general, I'm a very philanthropic Kenyan. So I have written a book on demystifying success. And you can see what this one is.
It's a web.
No matter how intellectually connected you are, you can't make this. This is under a reserve of spiders. A reserve, it has its own territory like Kenya Power. Monolithic in nature. So now, so demystifying success means, like now Sir Richard Branson bought a space charter worth 1.2 trillion. He has invited a pastor for Thanksgiving on Sunday. Another guy in Turkana has bought a bicycle. He has equally invited a pastor, servant of God, for Thanksgiving. So you need to ask yourself, what is success? And I thought of writing a book which is called Demystifying Success.
How much?
1,000 shillings.
Okay.
So I have another book here which is called After the 60th Day. I had worked for 24 years without going for a break.
Okay.
But then now I was stopped by sickness. I was admitted in Nairobi hospital for 10 days because of working without a break. Fatigue. Remember, even tea factories back there at Chinyalo where you come from, Haega or Sigalagala or Butari, Mumias. You know, even those factories, they do close for maintenance. But farmers don't uproot their cash crops.
No.
So similarly, you require to take a break. Even Jesus Christ worked for 6 days. On the 7th day, he rested. So I'm saying, quality work life, man. You must balance. You have a family. Make your wife happy because in heaven there will be no wives. Make your wife happy now. And make money and you drive a good car, because if you are driving a Pro Box, when you go to heaven, God will not give you a super surprise. You will still drive a Pro Box in heaven. So what I So what you need to do, Mr. Wambara, is that you must balance your work life. Then I have written another book which is actually out of stock, which is called this, Personal Financial Wellness and Wealth Creation. How do you create wealth? Creating wealth, you don't require a lot of money, by the way. And I was telling my pastor that if you don't know how to manage money, if you can't manage scarcity, you can't manage abundance. And the Bible says, to those who have, those who don't have, wakae tu mafukara. So the matter's growth is biblical. So we need to grow, moving from one level to another. And I urge young men and women listening to this particular TV channel that please make sure that you learn to save. Haba na haba hujaza kibamba. And kumbuka, ukistaajabu ya Musa utaona ya Firauni, na ukiona vierea vimeundwa na bahati ya mwenzio usilalie mlango wasi, na mgaga na upwa hali wali mkafu, na mwenda tesi na omo marejeo ni gamani, na majuto ni mjukuu huja baadaye.
Thank you, Dr. Kibisha. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you so much.
I hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.
From us to you, we say goodbye. Let me just pass some credits. We would like to thank Buddha Boss for allowing us to be on this set. Yes. Let me also thank my dresser called First Impressions. Please, if you manage to be in Westlands, look for Impressions. He's got some nice stuff.
Thank you.
Dr. Kibisha, happy birthday again.
Thank you so much.
And we wish you many, many more.
Thank you so much.
Regards.
I wish you the very best, and you're doing a commendable job.
Asante.
God bless you so much.